All of us here today are feeling completely devastated at having to be here, doing what we are doing. On Sunday, May 2nd, 2021, Specialist Kaylie Harris of the United States Army tragically and unexpectedly lost her earthly life at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. And what has happened to Kaylie doesn't seem right. And if we feel bitter and angry, as well as deeply grieved at the unfairness of it all, there is no one in heaven or on earth who can blame us. Things aren't meant to be like this. Everything's meant to be different, and there are just no easy words we can say that can explain what has happened to Kaylie.
Determined. That's what she was determined. She was just determined. She wanted to do something. And it was like she was trying to find her niche. And then she just looked at me and she says, I want to do Army. Now, I tried to, was like, I'm not ready for that. But she was, like I said, she was strong-willed and determined. She says, I want to make an impact. I want to do something. And I want to protect people. And that's her thing.
And so she joined the United States Army and aspired to become part of the military police. And now she had a new family because she was married to the Army. In September of 2019, she went to boot camp at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, became a much-loved member of the Comanche Company.
She was nervous but excited. And in the beginning, you always see these letters like, oh, I miss home, and and everything else in the beginning, those letters. And then all of a sudden you see a change, and all of a sudden this is the greatest experience. I can't believe I'm doing this. And for her, being a female, she would always be like, I have to work harder, Mom, because I'm a girl, but I'm going to get these guys. I mean, it was like her thing was like, keep pushing forward. She's extremely positive, And, but this one man and her spent a lot of time, and she thought that, they were friends. So he turned out not to be a friend. And then January 30th through 31st, she was raped repeatedly. It was January 21st when she came out on, here in Springfield, we knew, I mean, it was not like it was okay. She came out, and in the military, the people that she was with boot camp with at Fort Leonard Wood knew, but she was always just not very open about it. And then January 21st is when social media, when she was like very kind of doing the loud, and I'm proud, and look how far I've come, I've accomplished so much. And when I would ask her about, just the social media posts and this and that, and she was just like, Mom, I just want people to know that they can do it, and that's where my heart is. It's like, she says, I want to motivate people that it doesn't matter where they are, if they're a lesbian or just gay or transgender or just a female or even a man who may, have issues. But if you work hard enough, it's okay. And she was so proud of that. It was, and that's what was so hard on this. And when I spoke to the Army and I talked to them, I was very honest with them. And I asked them, did this man know that she was a lesbian? And they said, oh, absolutely. And I said, okay. I said, so, I mean, he didn't think that she was, flirty with him or coming on because, that stereotype. And they said, oh, no, ma'am, not at all. I mean, everybody knew. Everybody knew. She was very vocal. And I said, okay. And then I asked them. I said, and you are aware, because of what he's done, that this is a hate crime? And they said, yes, ma'am, we're aware. They told me the articles that they charge our military with, they do not have one for hate crime. And I said, how can you have, you opened it up for the gay and the transgender population to come in, but you don't have a way to protect them. So that's not right. And, they were very honest with me, and they said yes. They said they have a broad article where they can kind of stick in what they want in that broad one, but he said, you know, it can be very simple things, but nothing hate crime. When this airman did this to her, he is still, to this day, as I'm doing this interview, walking that base free. And that was something that she struggled with because she didn't see him getting punished. And she spoke to a lot of her friends saying, I'm the one every day who has to live with what he did to me. I have to get up and try to breathe. I have to get up and move around and keep living knowing what he did to me. But he's out there laughing, having fun with his friends, almost, well, you know, and then that was hard for her. But she was making it through that process until, and she had a protective order against him for the Air Force and the Army. Now they had removed the man that did this to her and put him on administration type duties. Well, when she was in this building, she was walking down the hallway this way and he walked this way. And they did make eye contact. They don't know if anything was said by him or anything like that. They weren't unable to tell me that, but they said that she had a severe emotional response. They had to call her victim advocate and they had to get her out of the building. I'm not sure if she collapsed for the fact that they had to actually remove her themselves from the building. And when I spoke to both sides, Air Force and Army, they said that was an extreme error. And I understand that. And then it was like, well, you know, sometimes things get mixed up and communication like that. And I'm like, you have been on this base together for years. There's no way that and I asked them, did she have to register for this? They said, yes. I said, then why wasn't anything dinged? I mean, red flagged, because I know that they flag things all the time. And so she was put in the same building that he was. And at that point, that trigger that she went through, it was, they believe it was 3 days, somewhere in between 3 days later that she took her life. As a civilian, you don't see people go out anymore to the extent of where they go out and they hurt somebody physically, mentally. I know it happens, but it's not like you don't see a lot of it like you used to when somebody was gay or had you know, a transgender. I mean, there's punishment for that, and that's why people don't do that, you know. And why in our military is there not? This is such a simple fix. Because, I mean, she was a proud soldier. I went to see her and she would always, in Alaska, and she goes, look at my paradise. And she said that. She said everybody was so good to her and so understanding.
On behalf of the President of the United States, the United States Army, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of respect for your loved one's faithful and honorable service.
You know, and she never felt like she was discriminated against until, you know, this happened to her at this time. But then when she yelled, please help me, he did this because of this, there was no help.